I'm here with Jacqui Bowman. She was one of the first agents with EXP Realty in Ohio.
Yeah.
She is somebody that I follow a lot. She's kind of in our tribe and brings a lot of awesome events to the Ohio Valley area, and not just Ohio Valley, but across the country. And Jacqui's sitting down with me today. We're talking about EXP. We're here at EXP Con. I don't know what kind of sweet room you got us into here, but it's pretty nice.
It's pretty awesome when we're in here all by ourselves. So we're like, let's do this podcast in here.
Yeah,
Pretty
so
cool.
what I want to know is, I remember the conversation back in 2017. EXP was unheard of.
Right.
And you talked to Monica weekly.
Yeah.
Monica brought the conversation to me, and it was this new concept. So go back to that moment. There were less than 1,000 agents at EXP. No, less than 3,000 or so.
Yeah, we were like agent 24, 2,500-ish.
Yeah, and EXP was different. And let's talk about why it's different.
Yeah, so a lot of times when people ask me questions about EXP, I just take the company name out of it, to be honest with you, because you know, we're talking about Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Remax, you know, everybody has this company name, but it's really, truly a completely different platform for real estate agents to plug into.
So look at it as a platform, not a company.
Yeah, so we're all entrepreneurs that own our own businesses, right? And at some brokerages, we're made to feel that we sell for them. That's a totally different story. We won't go down that bunny trail. But if you're living in the world knowing that we are the entrepreneurs growing our own real estate business, I want you to just imagine that you're plugging your business into a platform that is just going to skyrocket you.
I never thought about looking at it that way. It's almost like you want to play for the best NFL team or best NBA team. Forget about the name of the team, because that will bias your opinion of the team. Take the name off the jersey and focus on what does the team do really well.
Right.
Right. So there's a lot of different facets to EXP Realty. Most agents come over like we did. We're in production. We're selling houses every day, and that piece of the pie, just that piece of the puzzle is attractive in itself.
Right.
But there's other things, right? There's something about EXP that you didn't even realize how powerful it was when you first came over.
Right. So one of my senior business partners, David Best, he was the owner of a very successful franchise of another company, and he saw EXP, he saw the model, he understood that it was going to be a new platform in real estate that was going to completely change the industry. And so just by going on the trust of him, I said, I don't know really what you're throwing down, because it was very complicated. And I think a lot of our agents have issues not only explaining what our platform is, but a lot of agents who've never understood the different concept have difficulty understanding it. And we understand that.
Well, and
you know?
If you look at all the different platforms, take out real estate, for example, look at the different platforms in different industries.
Right.
We've got the automotive rideshare industry, taxi cabs and Uber. We've got the hotel industry. We've got hotels and short-term rental.
Right.
We've got the video rental industry. We've got Blockbuster and Netflix.
Right.
All that came on, and technology changed. It's an industrial revolution among all industries. Right. And now you've got this platform called EXP.
Yeah. And so I think, and that's exactly it. I think, you know, if you all remember back when the taxi cab industry was very, very up in arms about the app-based platforms, we'll just say Uber and Lyft, right? Uber was first to market. Do you all remember those articles? It was like, if you're a female, don't get into an Uber, you might get mugged. Scare tactics. So they created this fear, uncertainty, and doubt within the public. And so now today, everyone does it.
Oh yeah,
right?
I've taken. We're in Vegas right now.
Right?
I've taken an Uber everywhere we've gone.
Right.
I've not gotten into one taxi yet.
Right. So the interesting thought is, okay, if I'm a driver and I work for a taxi cab company, and I've always done it this way, and I'm sure there's some behind the scene things on a company level that it's like, if I want to get the good rides, you know, to the airport that are expensive, I'm going to have to earn my way to certain things, right? And so literally I'm a driver working for an old school model, or an old school, and I don't even want to call it a platform, we're just going to call it an old school model. And then these apps came out, and as a driver, I'm like, wait a minute. I can drive my own vehicle, I can create my own hours, I can build my own business, I can earn 5-star ratings, and I can be compensated on my performance as a driver. I'm gonna plug into this platform. It wasn't so much, I'm gonna plug into Uber, it was, I'm gonna plug into a platform as a driver, and that changed their entire career. right?
Right.
And so for us, we're the consumers. The agents are the consumers in this platform, and this platform changed our lives.
Right. And I think when we heard about it, it was so new, and it met us at a moment where we were open-minded enough to hear it out.
Right.
And that's where I feel like a lot of agents do themselves a disservice, is that as a business owner, you really got to be looking around at what opportunities are there. If you say, this is how we've always done it, and this is how we're always going to do it, well, what if that's not the best way it can be done? What if that's not the right thing for your success in the future?
Right. And I think, too, it's okay to look at your competition. I mean, that's the most intelligent thing to do, is to just kind of open your gate and look at what the competition has to offer. And then if staying where you're at is the best choice for you, that's honestly okay. It's just being naive and not even looking, to me, I think is almost a disservice to your family and yourself as a business owner and entrepreneur, which that's who we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you joined EXP, it was 2017-ish?
Yes.
Okay, so 2017, you joined EXP. There was less than 4,000 agents at the company.
Right.
There's 85,000 agents plus at EXP
Right.
Realty right now. And I was around in 2017 when EXP was still a baby in the
Infancy.
market. Now, I
Yeah.
still feel like we're new.
We are still new, yeah.
How has EXP changed in your mind from 2017 when you joined until now?
Yeah, I think, early on, it kind of felt like we were putting together an airplane as it was flying, right? So that's probably the best description of it. So we had people like Aaron that were like, not sure I like this turbulence without the left wing going, But it was very innovative. And as we grew quickly, because you see, we don't have to find franchisees to buy in. We don't have to have brick and mortar. We have all of these expenses and all of these positions freed up, and all of those opportunities are given back to us as agents. Because again, it's a platform, it's not a company, it's just a different animal in itself. Just as that was growing, there were a lot of growing pains in that. But now, I mean, we've got pretty much everything streamlined, and now we're just adding bonuses. So it's like, oh, well, now we have first class, and we're going to give you, extra napkins. I don't know what I'm talking about, but we're going to give you free drinks. No, but yeah. So now we're at the phase of like all of these third-party companies coming into EXPI World Holdings, and all of these third-party partnerships, and all of these things. I mean, what I love is Glenn Sanford is an agent. He thinks with it as an agent mind. We have the blessing of having Monica Weekly in our group, and her being on the board for EXPI. So publicly traded stock on the NASDAQ, but we have the voice of the agents right at the heart of all of those decisions that are being made. So it's really pretty amazing.
And we'll talk about the level playing field here, because at my previous brokerage, everything was franchised. And if I needed access to someone, let's just say that I'm growing as an agent, and I'm like, you know what? I really like this way to build my business, and I really want to head this direction. I had to go through many, many channels, and I didn't really have good connections or someone who could connect me.
Right.
Well, when I said, hey, I'm going to EXP Con, and here's where I'm headed, here's where I want to grow, all I had to do was tell a few people who were in my small circle.
Right.
And that level playing field led me right to who I needed to talk to here at EXP Con. And the people that I'm talking to who have walked in the shoes that I'm trying to get to, they were so excited to talk to me and share with me on how they built, how they grew, what their mindset was like. And not that it's not possible at other companies, but things are so decentralized here that we're almost equals when we're talking to somebody who's right ahead of us.
Yes, absolutely. And to me, I mean, I always love to do the comparison, but we're going to go back to the Uber app again. It's the convenience, right? So in this arena, we as agents are the consumers, right? We're not the end consumer, right? Because just like Uber, the end consumer is the person riding in the car. That our end consumers, they really don't notice a single difference in our service because we're the business owners and the entrepreneurs. But for us, we're actually the customers and clients of this amazing platform. And so just having that mindset shift and really understanding like it's our business that we're plugging into a platform is really truly, and I don't know if I answered your question, I kind of circled around it, but it's great. The access. Oh, that's what it was. It's the convenience and access for support. So most people think like, oh, if I join this cloud-based brokerage, I'm going to be left on an island and I'm not going to get the support. Like I can barely get the support in my brick and mortar office and there's people everywhere, right? But honestly, it's the convenience of I have a question, I know where to type it in, and within minutes you have agents surrounding you and leadership surrounding you, and the support that you have here is unmatched. It's unmatched.
I had a friend at my previous brokerage reach out, or I guess we were in conversation, and his comment was, I'm under the impression that none of your agents know how to get in touch with the broker and the brokers never respond. At that very moment, I had texted my broker. So Elizabeth's our broker in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Sarah's our broker that I reach out to in Ohio. And I had an answer from Sarah in less than 14 minutes because she had to finish up a meeting. She reached out to me. She answered my question that I had to relay back to my client. And it was probably 10 times faster than I would have heard from my last broker, who is local right here in our local market.
So it just feels different and it's convenience, right? I always like to bring up Chick-fil-A because it's a different experience at Chick-fil-A than Burger King, right? And it's the way that they are there serving you, right? There's a different level of appreciation for that. And what I love about EXP is the agents are the consumers. And I don't want to say the brokers work for us because we're all partners,
Right.
but we are not working for our brokers here, right? We are partnered with them and they are support for us. So in Ohio, I know the numbers in Ohio, we have 14 brokerage staff and 3 actually managing brokers that are always on call. So it's like that Chick-fil-A Disneyland experience for us as agents when we need brokers.
Right. And I think the fear is for a lot of agents who they go to a local office and they have a local broker and they've got these relationships. The fear is that they're going to fall and there's no safety net to catch them.
Right.
And when in reality, I feel like the safety net's so much bigger because you've got so much more support. You said we got 14 brokerage staff.
Yeah.
That if I need something, there's going to be someone there to help me instead of having one point person to answer the question. The other thing that I'm thinking of is just that industrial revolution style. If I need a car to take me somewhere, I go to my phone and I order it on an app. A lot of people order their coffee through an app.
Right.
People love Chipotle. If they order their food, they can place the order and go pick it up. The world has become this technology-centric world based on platforms.
Right.
And EXP is nothing more than a platform that is supercharged for agents to grow their business.
To grow their business, absolutely.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
So
it's awesome.
What other things can you share, kind of parting words here, what other things can you share about EXP that make them different for agents?
We talked about the collaboration and the support.
One of the things that you shared with me is that you were an agent here for 6 months before you realized one of the major ways that you can grow without having to do any extra work.
Yes. So my husband Ryan does have his broker's license in Ohio, and we could absolutely have our own brokerage. But being part of this platform has enabled us to grow in 31 states, 4 countries. We have over 400 agents in our organization. So think about that again. Like I always go back to the Uber driver. Like he could actually drive from Cleveland to San Diego and he could just turn on his app in San Diego and have a job and work. The convenience of that, and that's the same exact thing we have here because Ryan and I chose to plug into a platform that we have this expansion. But Aaron's right. I told him the first 4 to 6 months that I was here, the biggest mistake I made when I came to EXP was I was thinking that revenue share was just like the profit share at my previous franchise that I was at.
Because you hadn't experienced.
Because I hadn't experienced it. And so once I started getting deposits in my bank account, because we brought a couple agents with us, and there's like $930, and then it kept growing from there. I'm like, what? This is a lot more. Like for only having a small amount of agents. And so I had to learn. And I really truly feel today there's a lot of agents in our company that don't understand it.
Here's a question. I might put you on the spot if you don't know the numbers exactly.
That's okay.
But I know when I experienced what you're talking about, there's a lot of people that are in a profit share model that it took them a while to get to the profit share level that they're at now.
Yeah.
And I realized pretty quickly that it only took me a few months to get to the level of income from revenue share that it took me 9 years to get to.
Absolutely.
At my profit share level. So do you remember at what point your revenue share surpassed your profit share ability and how long it took you to get to that profit share point?
Yeah, so being a team leader and manager at the other company, I don't know if I'm allowed to share numbers. It's your podcast, so
Yeah,
I just
throw it
will.
out there. Whatever you're willing
Annually,
to
I
say.
was receiving between $3,000 and $5,000 a year annually, and within 8 to 10 months here, we were over $3,000 a month in revenue share.
So in 8 to 10 months,
Yes.
you passed what you were getting in profit share from-
Annually.
and you were in a leadership role that your job was to create profit share.
Correct.
Oh
Right.
my gosh. So
Yeah, so just a little bit different, and a little bit different.
That's apples
a lot
and oranges.
Different.
That's
Yes,
apples
it's
and
definitely
oranges.
apples and oranges. And so when I talk about comparing apples to apples, yes, when we look at franchise models, we are comparing apples to apples. And EXP is an orange, right? EXP is an orange, but we also have, and that's just the real estate part of it. But when we talk about this revenue share piece, that's just extra fruit in the basket, right? And the stock, which we haven't even touched on the stock, is another piece of fruit in the basket, whether it's grapes or bananas or whatever. We have so many ways that Glenn and our agent-owned company, we're creating opportunities for agents to make incomes all different ways. I mean, if you bring a lender into success lending, you can make income. There's just so many different ways that we're making income with express offers. And we just launched Affinity today. They're doing Affinity certifications. So there's just so many different avenues as an agent when you plug into this platform as an entrepreneur to grow in 8 or 10 different directions to get revenue.
So parting words here, other than what advice would you give to agents who are happy at their current company, other than keep an open mind?
If I'm happy,
because we know smart business owners are open to opportunities. So other than that,
right, I would say that most positive people are most of the time are going to be happy at their company, because if things are squabbling or things are squirrely or going wrong, they're just going to keep focused and stay out of the way of that, right? So for most part, most of us are happy with our previous company or where we're currently at. But having an open mind is the first thing in actually looking at what the competition is. But I truly think that taking ownership of owning a business and realizing that we are entrepreneurs that own our business, and then thinking to myself, okay, if I could create the perfect brokerage situation, what would that look like? I would encourage you to imagine that, brainstorm that, and draw that out. And it's one of those things, we don't know what we don't know until we see it.
Yeah.
And so I think if you were to draw out the perfect thing, I mean, being our own broker, this is beyond that. Like, we could have our own brokerage,
Everybody
but
gets
this is
into-
beyond that.
Everybody
It's
gets
so
into real
amazing.
estate and they've got these dreams. It's like, oh, one day I'm going to have my own brokerage.
Right.
And I realized when I saw the EXP model, I was like, oh, this is so much better because
Yes.
I don't have the responsibility, but I have the power.
Yes.
It's amazing. So
it's pretty awesome.
this
So,
has been Jacqui Bowman with EXP Realty, a coach, a mentor, and a community builder. So check her out on Instagram, on Facebook. Where
Yes.
you have a YouTube
just
channel?
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I do have an entire playlist on YouTube, just EXP Explain playlist. I was a preschool teacher before I was a realtor.
I love it.
So because I didn't understand EXP the first 6 months I was here, I take it upon myself to help others understand it, because it is a different platform. It's something that we're not used to as real estate agents, and it's a completely different experience.
Yeah, well, thank you for providing the opportunities that you have for me
Yes.
and your encouragement and all that. So
Awesome.
thanks for watching,
having me.
guys. This has been Jacqui Bowman.